Good morning and welcome to Kitty Talks. We share inspirational life stories that empower you to create yours. And today I have with me the beautiful Christine Hassler. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, very, very beautiful in my post-workout sweat, no makeup. You get me completely authentic.
I'm loving it. I'm totally loving it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just did my Orange Theory. I have my reishi mushroom, coconut oil, almond milk coffee that I make. This is how I start my morning, do my meditation before my workout. So this is my routine.
Fantastic. Christine is a life coach. She's a spiritual counselor and a Generation Y expert. She helps individuals answer the question of who am I, what do I really want, and how do I get it? I love that. So Christine, do you mind telling us a little bit more about your work, who you are and what you do in the world?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's so funny when people ask me what I do. It's so hard to answer in like one sentence. Like, I'm a dental hygienist, like pretty easy, pretty clear. I've been working and building my business for the past 12 years. So it's evolved. So I say that I'm in the personal transformation, the personal growth business, and I'm committed to helping people get over it and on with it. Get over whatever's holding them back, whatever their suffering is, and on with their dreams. And as a master coach and a spiritual psychologist, it's helping both clean up the past and heal the past, and also, enjoy your present. But take really aligned steps towards your future, not just action steps, but really being able to clear enough of your past out of the way so vibrationally you get in alignment with that what you want to attract. So not only are you taking action steps, but you're just receiving the opportunities and situations that are truly an expression of who you are. So that's the essence of what I do. And the form that that's in is I'm an author of 3 books. The last one was Expectation Hangover. I'm a keynote speaker. You mentioned I'm a Gen Y or millennial expert. So I do a lot of speaking in the corporate world and the personal growth world about generational diversity, leadership, women's empowerment and the myth of having it all, responding to change. I host a podcast where I coach people live on the air. So you get to listen to unedited, raw coaching sessions when I don't know the person. I just get on and coach them. And then I break down why I did what I did. Then I lead retreats all over the world. My next one's in Bali, and then I'll be headed to Australia. And I just finished shooting a TV show where I was the relationship expert and coach on a show about love. So, and I have private clients as well.
Busy lady.
I'm a busy lady, but it's again, like, and I say this to, people that are watching, keep in mind, I wrote my first book. It came out in 2005.
Yes.
So I was just a little baby. And so it's been 12 years of momentum. And I think that the key thing, Kitty, that has given me not just like success, but like success I love, like purpose, heart success, is I have done, and I'm still doing, I'm going through another wave now, so much of the inner work. And I don't approach that from thinking, oh, we always have to be working on ourselves and we're constantly a self-improvement project. But if you're listening to this show or watching this show, then you're somebody who's awake. And you know that part of the human experience is we are evolving so rapidly in consciousness right now. We are living in a time where once you like drink the Kool-Aid, like once you're aware of like, oh my gosh, like we create a reality and my issues are having me act in certain ways and I'm creating my future from my past, and we realize that we can shift and change, then the growth just continues to happen. So we're never there, we're never done. And I would say that my commitment to growth has been the key to my success, because that puts me in alignment with being in integrity with my work. And sometimes it's really hard. And sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to go work at a bank. I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to do this. This is hard.
Yeah.
But that's what I found out.
So take us back just briefly, because obviously you said you've been doing this work now like 12 years. I know that a long time ago that you used to work as a Hollywood agent. And obviously there's lots of people listening to this and maybe they are in that job. Maybe they are waking up. Maybe they are feeling uncomfortable. Like, what was it about your job? Why did you know you needed to leave?
Well, so in Expectation Hangover, I talk about something called compensatory strategies. And these are the strategies we develop to make up for where we've been hurt or where we feel less than, or to stay safe. So an example of a compensatory strategy would be, if you grew up in kind of like a chaotic household, or let's say you had a parent who was a little emotionally unavailable and only gave you kind of love and attention when you got good grades, or you did things right, you might have a compensatory strategy of being a people pleaser. Like, I just want to keep everybody else okay. I get love when, So my compensatory strategy was actually achieving. I was bullied and teased. I had a kind of a rough growing up outside the house. And the way I compensated for feeling not part of something, for feeling scared, for feeling like I didn't have control over certain things because there was some abuse that I dealt with. Again, like all outside my house, but it created I need to find a way to feel safe. I need to find a way to fit in. I need to find a way to get approval. And so overachieving was my thing. So I was the girl who, if I didn't get an A+ 100 score in class, I would, be devastated. My parents would be like, "It's okay to get a B." And I'm like, "No, it's not even okay to get A-." And that drove me. I went to a great college. And then, if you're desperately insecure with something to prove and want a sense of belonging, then going to Hollywood and being with the rich and famous people is like perfect. So I moved to Hollywood when I was 20. I barely graduated from college, and I worked my way up really, really quickly. I was promoted to a full-on agent when I was 24. And what an agent does is you get writers and producers and directors and actors jobs. Like, it's our job to get them jobs. And I was working in TV for writers and directors, and I was also dating the head of a movie studio. So between my life in the TV world and his life, I was hanging out with celebrities. I was going to the Oscars and the Golden Globes and private jets and in the whole like drug, alcohol, party scene. I was never doing it. I was always the babysitter for my boyfriend, and I was always the good girl. But I lived that life, and I just and this is one form of expectation hangover. So one example of an expectation hangover, there's 3 different kinds, but one of them is you reach a certain point, like something, you reach a certain goal or plan, and you don't have all the good feelings you thought that you would. It doesn't solve the problems you thought it was going to solve. And so here I was, super successful, making a ton of money at 24. I remember sitting next to George Clooney at one New Year's event, kind of going, why am I not happy right now? Like, this is George Clooney. I have a mental problem.
Yeah, most women would have killed for that.
Yeah. And I was like all dressed up and like so anyway, I ended up quitting because I thought that would be the magic answer. I didn't really like my job. And that's the thing. A lot of times when we pursue things based on our compensatory strategies, not checking in intuitively is like, is this what I really want?
Yes.
What I really want? Or am I trying to prove something? Am I trying to fit in? And I didn't like sales. I didn't like being an agent. And I learned quickly I did not like working for other people. Like, freedom is my number one core value. It doesn't mean I'm not committed to things, but I need somebody telling me I have to be at a certain place at a certain time. So I ended up quitting, and I thought, I was going to go into the health and fitness industry and be the next, whoever fitness celebrity. But that wasn't it. And in 6 months, everything kind of fell apart. I was estranged from my family because I made a choice that my mom didn't like. We've since reconnected. I went into tons and tons of debt. I got diagnosed with an undiagnosable autoimmune disorder on top of headaches every day for 20 years, migraines once a week, and I was put on Prozac antidepressants when I was 11. So I had depression, consistent headaches, and then I had this autoimmune disorder that no one could figure out on top of it. And then I was engaged, not to the Hollywood guy, but to somebody else. And 6 months before our wedding, he unexpectedly dumped me in our premarital counseling session. I had no idea. I was eating a turkey sandwich. He walked in, he said it, never eaten a turkey sandwich again. And so I lost everything, my career, money, family, health, love. And, I'm sure people watching have been through even worse. But for me, that was my life.
Yeah, of course.
Rock bottom. And I had a suicidal moment. Now, I wasn't attempting it, but I had suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
That turned into an awakening. That turned into something bigger than me. But I think I was so beaten down that like my controlling obsessive mind like stopped for a second, and something bigger than me, truly was a miracle, came over me and gave me a feeling of love that I had like probably not felt since I was little, like love and passion and happiness. And once I felt that, once I caught a glimpse of that, I made a promise, like if I figured my way through my quarter life crisis, I would dedicate my life to helping people transform their suffering. And that's what I've been doing for 12 years.
Wow. I love hearing people's kind of like wake up stories. You know, most of us have gone through such amazing kind of near death, kind of like you said, all of your constructs came down and literally your whole world fell apart. But at the same time, it's probably the best thing that ever happened.
For sure. And there's been more. I said there are 3 kinds of expectation hangovers. One is you reach a certain point and you don't feel like you thought you would. 2, you don't get your plan. Like your plan, you try really hard for something. You think you're going to get a job, or you think you're going to get married by a certain age and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or life throws you an unexpected curveball. And, I kind of had all of those at once. I had the curveball, the fiance. I had like not, reaching the job that I want. I had thinking I was going to be at a certain point in my life and wasn't. And since then, Kitty, there's been a lot of other expectation hangovers. Like I got divorced when I was in my early 30s, like 32. And that really motivated expectation hangover because I was able to go through a big disappointment in a different way because I had more tools. And so I was able to really milk disappointment and milk an expectation hangover for all the amazing healing opportunities that it provides. Because I think with most of us, when we have an expectation hangover, any kind of unexpected surprise or any kind of disappointment, we just want to get over it. Like we just want to move through it, feel better. But then what happens is we push down a lot of stuff that it's trying to reveal to us. And then we got to like go back and experience like another breakup or another job loss or another time when we struggle with money. And it's like, you might as well just dive in. And that's why I wrote the book. It is like a guidebook, workbook, exercise. It's not a sit on the beach and like flip through. It's people always write me and they're like, your book is hard. And I'm like, yeah, but it works. You know what? I promise it works.
So for someone listening who maybe is going through a kind of life trauma, life change, obviously they can read the book, but like just while we're on the podcast, what is it you're saying? Go deep into those emotions
and get support, like get help. Don't think you have to do it on your own. And the thing I'll say right now is 1, you're not alone. Like you're so not alone. Like this is part of the human experience. 2, you didn't do anything wrong. I think that when we're in that disappointment, we go into shoulda, coulda, woulda. We regret things, but regret is using information you have now to go back in the past and beat yourself up for something you didn't have the information you have now. So let that go. 3, get out of victim. Yes, have compassion for yourself, but the why did this happen to me? And the hopeless, helpless, that victim energy, it's just going to sink you down and you're going to be more and more disconnected from that part of you that knows you're whole, that knows you're complete. And then 4th, acceptance. Like Byron Katie, I love her. She's a great teacher she teaches the work. She says, when you fight with reality, you only lose 100% of the time. So here's the thing. You don't have to like the fact that you're struggling with money. You don't have to like the fact that you just got dumped. You don't have to like the fact that you just got diagnosed with an illness. However, if you continue to fight it and want to change reality, you're just going to have more resistance. So it's like, you got to just kind of move into acceptance that it's happening. Like I mentioned, like right now, I'm going through I think I'm going through another up leveling. It wasn't triggered by anything, but I'm having just some challenging things come forward, some physical things, some memories. And as much as I want to be like, and just kind of keep moving through my day, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to accept this.
Yeah.
Coming up for a reason. I'm going to work with it. I don't like it. It's not my preference.
No.
But I welcome it because I don't want the resistance to slow me down and to also put me in that contractual energy. So move into acceptance and embrace it and welcome it as much as you can because you will move through it faster.
Yeah. And it's a really good thing that you said previously, like, it's much better to move into it and work through it than resist it and then it come back and bite you on the bum at a latter point in your life. Because I think
bum is such a good word. We don't use that as often as we need to in America.
Yes, we don't want to get into bum and fanny because they mean totally different things in America and in England.
So true. I was giving a speech in Australia once, and it was one of my first time I was in Australia like 4 years ago, and a man raised his hand and he said, "How do I get my employees to stop wearing thongs?" And I'm like, "How do you know they're wearing thongs?" And he goes, "I can see them." And I'm like, are they bending? Oh, I was like, and luckily there was an American in the front row, and he's like, he's talking about flip flops. I'm like, oh, totally different reference point.
Yeah, totally different reference point. Absolutely. Yeah, we would be with you. We would say thongs are something you wear rather than put on your feet. But yeah, you've got to be very careful. So how do people tune into what it is that they're supposed to be doing? What's your advice?
Well, I don't think there's any kind of supposed to be doing, right? It's sort of like, what's the most natural expression of you at this time? So I think that we all have our natural. I used to teach a program called Secret Sauce where I help people find their purpose. And how I defined secret sauce was it's a combination of your unique gifts, like the things that just come naturally to you. Like for example, my sister is an amazing she can just decorate and pick things, and she just has such great that she can just see things. And I'm like, how do you do that? That is so hard for me. She's like, it's easy. I'm like, that's one of your gifts. Like it comes naturally to you, no problem. And then just your interests, like even if you're not really good at it, like what are the things that you're just naturally drawn to? And then like your unique life experience that has given you tools, like my unique life experiences of my own physical, mental, emotional struggles have given me a lot of experience with like human optimization, right? And personal transformation. So when you kind of look at all those three things, your gifts, your interests, and just your life experience and what kind of knowledge that has given you, what kind of passion that has given you, then you start to really kind of look at, all right, how am I here to serve? And I think that a lot of people attach purpose to career. And I wish we'd stop doing that, because I think that a lot of people think if I'm not doing a job that's like changing the world, then I'm not living into my purpose. And really our purpose here is to learn and grow. It's to complete karma. It's to evolve in consciousness, to become more aware of the love that we are every day, to connect with people, to have joy, to really enjoy life. Like that is the purpose. And then however that expresses through you, maybe it's a job, maybe it's being an amazing spouse, maybe it's being an incredible parent, maybe it's through volunteer work, maybe it expresses through your artwork that you don't necessarily have to sell, but that's how it expresses. Maybe it's smiling at a stranger. So I think that the more you get clear about what your secret sauce is and how that wants to express through you, then you can get more clear on your purpose. And don't think that just because you have a job that's not like, you don't feel like you're making a big impact, your purpose to being there, maybe, a lot of people that work in kind of corporate America say, well, I'm on this personal growth path and I want to do something more purposeful. And I said, listen, if all the light workers, if all the people that were in that are consuming personal transformation and are evolving in consciousness leave corporate America, what are we going to do? Like we need those people in the government, corporate America, and wherever, because how consciousness spreads, it's the same way cold spreads. How consciousness spreads is the more people that have it and wake up, the easier it is for other people to grab a piece of it and grab on. So maybe your purpose is maybe your purpose is you're contributing, you're part of team up leveling, right? You're part of the team that has come in at this time to help evolve the human species.
And how can people, because obviously what you're saying is so true, and how can people get in tune with their intuition? Because that's really our guiding light, almost. Like that's the thing that I think we need to really hone in on to utilize.
Yes. Well, I think the first thing is to break down any misunderstandings of what intuition is. Like I was working with a client and she's been in the personal growth work for a while. She's probably in her 50s. And she was really sad because she doesn't hear angels speaking to her and like other people do. And she thinks that means, or guides, like she doesn't hear it and doesn't see visions and auras. And she thinks that means that she isn't tapped into her intuition. And I said, okay, look, everyone's intuition is different in terms of how it speaks to us. I consider myself very intuitive. My work is very intuitive. I don't hear like this voice, an angel. Like it's almost like just a direct knowing or feeling or sensation. And some people do see things. Some people have dreams. Some people notice synchronicities in the world. So it's really starting to look at how your intuition speaks to you. We all have our own personal relationship with our intuition and track it. One of my teachers, Mary Holnick, where I got my master's degree in spiritual psychology, she would say that she kept an intuition journal when she was learning how to like have a relationship with her intuition, because we all have it. We're super connected to it when we're little, but then the ego mind takes over and the volume of the mind is just so loud. And the volume of intuition is quiet. And like, unless it needs to protect us, like, unless it's like, don't walk down that dark alley, like it's pretty quiet. And so we have to get quiet to be able to hear it. And so it's carving that space, and like really through meditation or through walking on the beach or sometimes through exercise, like whatever it can be to kind of quiet that mind so that you can start to really listen. And then keep a little journal of like little nudges you felt throughout the day. Like I thought of my friend Alexi and I sent her a text and she was like, oh my God, I was thinking about you too. Or I've had a really hard day. Thanks for reaching out. Or I noticed a certain license plate, or I felt like I wanted to go this way instead of this way. And I ran into, it was just kind of like track it. And the more you develop a relationship with it, the more it will trust you. And the other thing I'll say about it is, I know you have mostly women listening. And I think that as women, we're so lucky to be here at this time, because there's such like a surge in feminine empowerment coming. And there's amazing divine feminine energy coming in. And we're also more kind of ambitious than we ever have been, because we just feel all this, like enthusiasm. And that ambition can sometimes put us more in our masculine energy, and we can trust that more than our intuition. Like we trust the doing more than the being. Like I coach women all the time building business, and I'm like, you're doing too much. There's no space. We're receivers. We need to work more intuitively, and you've got to carve out space so the universe can kind of give you some things, and that's really how I run my business and it wasn't always like this. I had to reverse it. I would just do.
Yeah.
I had a goal and I would go. And now I sit, I listen, I feel into what I'm being guided to do, how I want to be used. So my intuition is the leader, and then my masculine energy responds to it. So it's the being that brings it in, and then once I get kind of the insight, then I bring in the doing to create it. But yeah, I think it's really just about carving space and trusting it. Like when you get, like for example, I lived in LA for 16 years, and I just moved to North County, San Diego, completely an intuitive thing. I was happy in LA.
Oh wow, okay.
But my intuition was like, you need to go. And I waited and I dilly-dallied. Quick story. And finally in December, I was like, okay, I'm all in, universe. Because it's hard for the universe to give you your manifested desires when you're not all in. Like when you're wishy-washy and you're kind of like, well,
you've got to fully commit.
You got to fully commit. And so I'm like, I was driving down here looking for a place, and I'm like, okay, I will give my notice January 1st. Even if I don't find a place, I am all in. And I wrote down what I wanted. I found my place. Like the next day, dream place. Like I'm looking out onto the ocean right now.
Wow.
It was always a dream of mine. And the day before, like a week before I was moving, my friends threw me a party in LA, and I have an amazing tribe in LA. And I got a little sad, and I was like, oh, like, okay, like I really need to know that I made the right choice here. Just need a sign. And the next day I'm cooking an egg, and I have an electrical fire in my house in LA that luckily I rented.
Yeah.
And the fire department came, and it was so bad. The wiring was so bad that I had to move out for 6 months anyway.
Wow, they would have made you move.
They would have made me. I was like, okay, I get it. Thanks.
And do you know, and has it become clear why you've had, like, what's opening up for you now you've moved? How exciting.
It's been a lot of things. It was funny. I moved here, and then 3 weeks later, I got booked to shoot this TV show that shot in LA. So I moved here, and then for 3 months, I'm driving back to LA once a week. So it's just like, but I know that had I known the TV show was coming, it would have delayed me moving. So I would have been like, well, I'll just stay to finish this. I think that I needed to move for a couple reasons. One, I needed to have my dream of living on the water. Like that was such a heartfelt thing. 2, I needed to be out of the frenetic energy of LA. Like I said, I'm going through a bit of an up-leveling in consciousness myself. My own kind of gifts are opening more. And the energy of LA that wasn't possible. I had to fight off too much.
It's very dense. There's a lot going on.
Very dense.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm single, and I think that this is probably where I'm going to fall in love as well. So we'll see.
Do you know, when you said that, Christine, I got, look, my guides, how my guides communicate with me is they send shivers down the back of my spine. So yeah, your man is on his way. I can feel him. My God, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, how exciting.
Now I got goosebumps too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to do a check-in in 6 months and see how you're getting on. But yeah.
Let's like call it 3 weeks. He'll come really soon.
Well, I tell you what, okay, let's do it this way. As soon as he comes, you need to let me know, because he is definitely on his way.
Believe me, I've been waiting a while now since my divorce, and I'm going to be so happy. I'm probably going to have to do like a press release about it. I'm just going to be like, finally. And that's, maybe you have some single ladies watching too. And I think that, again, back to the feminine is going through so many shifts right now. Men are a little bit, a lot of men are very confused about what the masculine is and how to respond to this new feminine energy, because we haven't really been embodied in this vibration as women in, I don't even know how long, but thousands of years. And so, a lot of men are kind of like, and so I know there's a lot of really amazing women looking for men out there. And I think that we just need to give them a little time, and they're coming, but they're a little, I don't want to say behind. I would say more confused just about what it means to what empowered masculinity looks like right now.
Yeah, I think, there's the right, when you get the right one, like,
yeah, you just need one.
Yeah, you just need the one. And so I'm getting married in September, and I was...
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I was single for 8 years, and I waited a long time, and like, it's worth the wait. Like, my partner had his own kind of awakening and whatever else. And yeah, he's worth the wait. Like, Christine, you're going to make the most amazing man. I can feel it. I can absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely feel it. Thank you so much for listening to Kitty Talks. Be sure to head over to our kittytalks.com website and become a member of our exclusive club, and you'll get free interviews and access to our private Facebook group, exclusive webinars and secret success interviews. See you there.